Shabbat Shalom. Welcome everyone on this snowy April day. Got about 6 inches here at my house last night. I don't know about anyone else. I talked to the grandparents of our bar mitzvah student for tomorrow morning who live in Vail, and they only got 1 inch up there, so boy are we lucky. April 16th, 6 inches of snow on the ground. Welcome to Colorado. Let's welcome Shabbat together. Come, let us sing the song of Shabbat. Come, let us sing the song of Shabbat. Let's all try that together. Come, let us sing the song of Shabbat. Come, let us sing the song of Shabbat. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat. Come, let us sing a song of Shabbat. Come, let us sing a song of Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's so nice to be with you on this Friday evening as we welcome in Shabbat. Steve was just commenting on the weirdness of the snow in April. I spent a lot of time this week trying to explain to my toddler why, almost not really a toddler anymore, but why it snows if it's almost summer, because we're getting into that and he is confused. But I have to tell you, for me, in addition to being irritated with the snow and all of the things that it meant, this week, we're counting the Omer, and every week we have sort of a different value with which we view the counting of the Omer. And this week, our value, our ideal with which we are viewing the Omer is Tiferet, which is beauty. There is something about that wet spring snow that covers everything in a way that sometimes winter snow doesn't. That was just so beautiful. And I'm sorry to all the branches that didn't make it through this storm, but the way that new snow lands on the trees and, the drive to school this morning was really beautiful. Everything was white. And it was just it's a neat visual. It's a neat image. And so in the world of counting this week, I definitely saw the beauty and recognized the beauty, the Tiferet in that. And so as we enter into Shabbat, I ask you, like every week, take a deep breath. Oh, that felt good. Maybe do it again. And let Shabbat in. I know we're getting a little bit more I don't even think we should say back to normal, but things are opening up just a little bit. It feels weird and scary and overwhelming and new and also kind of normal and weird. And there's a lot of decision making now and a lot of things to be thinking about. And Shabbat is rest. So rest from those decisions, from the stress of the week, from those of you that are transitioning to be in person in things. Just let Shabbat in. As we pray together, let's light our Shabbat candles this evening.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat sings to us as she approaches. An ancient song of joy and desire, a quiet song of hope and anticipation. Read together with me. Yes, Shabbat sings as she arrives, her scarves dancing around her in the gentle breeze. Shabbat sings to us when she arrives, a sweet song of love and reunion, a simple song of laughter and surrender. Yes, Shabbat sings with us, joyful, exuberant. As we dance together in the glow of sunset, it is good to give thanks to God.
song unto God.
We all join together as we welcome Shabbat in formally with Lecha Dodi. Let us greet Shabbat as she arrives in our homes and sanctuaries and spaces this evening.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat v'zachor b'dibur echad yishmi'anu el hameyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad v'shem ultiferet v'litilah lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat mekabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat mekabela likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki mekor habracha merosh mikadem nisucha sof maaseh b'machshava techila lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat mekabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat mekabela hitoreri hitoreri ki ba'orei kumi ori uri uri shir daberi kevod Adonai alayich nigla lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat mekabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat mekabela. We rise either physically or spiritually to welcome the Shabbat bride. I invite you to rise and face the entry to your worship space this evening as we welcome the bride together. Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha u'tzola toch emunei am segula boi chala boi chala lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat mekabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat mekabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat mekabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat mekabela.
We remain standing physically or spiritually for the Baruch.
Yai lai 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 Baruchu et Adonai Hamevorach Baruch Adonai Hamevorach
This is balance. The world is entirely consumed by darkness, then brimming with light. Together, the seasons approach one after the other, bring unbearable heat, bitter cold, and everything in between. Joy fades, loss makes space for growth and new life. Balance is not a perfect blend of extremes. It is something that takes place inside a larger system. It is a perspective, an awareness that makes space for us to fully experience winter and then spring, light and then darkness, darkness and then light together. Life of all worlds, thank you for giving us the strength to allow our world, our heart, to be big enough for it all. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael amcha ahavta. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael amcha ahavta. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love.
Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people, Israel.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael amcha ahavta. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael amcha ahavta. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live. Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one, and we will know that you are one. Shema Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Join with me as we chant Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beineinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Who is like you, God of mystery and majesty, distant and present, thundering and quiet, the beginning and the end, the atom and the cosmos, the darkness and the light. Together, the one and the all, pillar and foundation, artist of sea and sky, author of the miraculous and the mundane, source of life, blessing and sustaining creation. Who is like you, glorious in holiness, to whom we praise, to whom we give thanks? The God who redeemed us from Egypt, the God who parted the sea, the God to whom Miriam and Moses led us in song. Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Give us a place to rest. Adonai, our God, bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom, ve'hamidenu, shomreinu, l'chaim, ufros aleinu, sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu, sukat shlomecha, hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. May you shelter us in peace until the morning comes. May you lay us down with love, and may you raise us up. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim
There is a chain of both unimaginable delicacy and infinite strength, bound 13 times from head to heart to hands to you. It stretches further back than time until it reaches those who first cried out your name. I see them in the mirror, hear their voices in the night, feel their joy, and taste what they found bitter as if it were iron on my tongue. Together we are whole. Together we remember, and so we sing your praises.
Adonai sifatai ufi agi tehilatecha Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha Open up my lips and let my mouth declare your praises. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Koneh Hakol V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot Umevi Geula Livnei V'Nehem L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah Ata gibor le'olam Adonai Mechaye hakol ata rav lehoshia Morid hatal Mechalkel chaim bechesed Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim Somech noflim v'rofeh cholim Umatir asurim Umekayem emunato Lishene afar Michamocha ba'al gevurot Umidom elach Melech memit umechaye Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechaye hakol Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelu chasela Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh
We take a moment now for silent prayer, and we come back together in just a moment with a prayer for peace.
Oseh shalom bimromav Oseh shalom bimromav ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh, ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. Shalom, hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. Bimromav. Oh, say shalom.
We come now to our Torah service and our Torah reading. This week's Parsha is Tazria-M'tzora, which is just a joy. It's a joy. It's a double portion. It's all about all kinds of good stuff like skin disease. We talk about boils and rashes and fungal infections and what's supposed to happen to people when they are afflicted with said fungal infections. It's really something special. There's a lot of such beautiful messages in this portion, though, but I am not speaking to you tonight. It turns out I actually would like to take the opportunity to introduce someone to you, someone you might know. And I'll tell you why we're doing it like this. Rabbi Black happens to be out of town this week. He has finally been able to go and see his daughter. And so he's spending some time with family, which is such an exciting thing for him and Sue. I know it's been a while. However, this week we are celebrating in the Denver community Mikvah Shabbat. As many of you know, we're building a new mikvah, a Jewish immersion pool or a ritual bath that will be on the east side of Denver, very close to Temple Emanuel. And so lots of congregations all over the Denver area are talking about the mikvah and mikvah in general tonight. And when Rabbi Black said he wanted to go visit his daughter this week, he insisted that he still talk tonight, which I found really cool, because often people think that the mikvah is something for women. It has a big role in women's lives, and women often do a lot of the mikvah immersing. They are the ones most obligated in traditional Judaism. And for Rabbi Black to say that this is actually something that needs to be talked about not just by women and needs to be taught about not just by women is a really powerful statement to me. And so with that, I'm very grateful that he took the time to write and record the sermon ahead of time before he went on vacation. And so I turn it over to Rabbi Black for words of Torah this evening.
Shabbat Shalom. I want to say a few words tonight about this week's Torah portion, Tazria-M'tzora. Now, it's a double portion that some people find uncomfortable. Tazria-M'tzora deals with bodily functions, childbirth, excretion of bodily fluids from the sexual organs. It deals with leprosy. In other words, it's a perfect Torah portion for our bar mitzvah, Justin Schwartzreich, to be chanting and talking about tomorrow. You'll be great, Justin. But a key concept in this week's double Torah portion of Tazria and M'tzora is the difference between tameh and tahor. Tameh means impure, and tahor means pure, impurity or purity. Now, when a member of the community becomes tameh or impure, they are required to separate themselves from others until they are either cured or the period of impurity passes. They then must go through a ritual that revolves around immersion in a body of water that will then permit them to re-enter back into the community. Now, these dual concepts of tameh and tahor are often misunderstood as referring to either uncleanliness or disease. The word impure conjures up images of radical contagion and fear that we are all too familiar with as we've been dealing with the realities of this pandemic for the past 13 plus months. And we think of impurity causing people to flee from those who are categorized as such, but the truth is, purity and impurity have less to do in the Torah with physical contagion than spiritual separation. When a person is tameh or impure, they have entered into a different spiritual realm than the rest of the community and must go through a ritual in order to re-enter into society. Now, in Jewish tradition, a ritual bath called a mikvah serves an essential function of allowing those who are in an alternative or alternate spiritual state to immerse themselves in mayim chayim, which means living waters. And this in turn serves the function of recentering someone, thereby permitting them to come back into the mainstream. So tonight, I want to talk about mikvah and what it means to us as liberal Jews. Now, many people erroneously believe that the mikvah is only for Orthodox or traditional Jews and is only used for two functions. Number one is conversion for all genders, and number two is taharat hamishpacha, or family purity laws. Women who complete their menstrual cycle in Orthodox communities need to go to the mikveh in order to re-engage in sexual relations with their partners. Well, these are the most common uses of the mikveh. That's true. They are by no means the only purpose that a mikveh serves in the Jewish community. Now, this weekend has been designated as Mikvah Shabbat by the Rocky Mountain Rabbis and Cantors, the RMRC, in connection with Parashat Tazria-M'tzora, for obvious reasons, but as well as also celebrating the soon-to-be completed East Side Mikvah, or Moed, the Mikvah Association of East Denver. Moed is a wonderful acronym because it also refers to the appointed times and seasons of our lives, Moed. So tonight, even though I'm not leading services, I pre-recorded this drash because I wanted to speak about the topic of mikvah. Now, Rabbi Hyatt and Cantor Sachs have both been active in supporting and teaching about the mikveh in our community, and I have no doubt that either of them would have been able to give a powerful and uplifting Devar Torah on this topic. But I strongly felt that as a cisgendered male, it was important that my voice be the one that talks about it, because this is not only a place or an issue or a concept for women. Mikveh has always been a central part of the Jewish people and has served an essential function that liberal Jews like ourselves should seriously understand and, here's a radical idea, perhaps adapt to our own spiritual lives. You see, immersing oneself in mayim chayim and living waters of a mikveh can be a powerful, might be even life-changing experience. I can't tell you how many times that I've been privileged as a rabbi to bring both men and women to the mikvah as the final step in their conversion process to Judaism. Now, while the experience of each person is different, everyone, those in the mikvah immersing and those who are privileged to be there, are profoundly impacted. Tears of joy mingle with sacred water, and these newly minted members of our community feel a deep sense of spiritual, historical, and communal connection. The three immersions that we do with obvious modesty and proper privacy, but we offer each potential convert represent their past, their present, and future connection with God, with Torah, and with Israel. But there are many other ways that the mikvah can be utilized to increase our spiritual selves. Mikvah can be an important part of healing from physical, emotional, or spiritual trauma. Some people, upon completing treatment for a disease, whether it's the last chemotherapy infusion after a surgical procedure, or even a frightening diagnosis, after surviving a car accident or completing a round of physical therapy, they find that immersing themselves in the mikvah is a powerful way to both give thanks for healing and move on to the next steps of their journey to wellness. Mikvah can also be a powerful tool in dealing with grief and loss. When couples are dealing with infertility, the process of immersion provides a ritual for hope and healing. Victims of rape and abuse often find that immersing themselves in the healing waters of the mikvah is a profoundly moving experience. The pain and grief that's caused by such horrific trauma is not cured, of course not, by the mikvah. But knowing that one's community provides a ritual and a safe, sacred place for spiritual, physical, and emotional healing is a powerful antidote to the shame that society often unfairly places upon victims. Immersion in the mikvah can also be a beautiful ritual as we approach life's major changes. Traditionally, brides go to the mikvah before their wedding. And while this is often connected with the Orthodox laws surrounding Taharat Mishpacha, family purity, as detailed in this week's Torah portion, emerging from the sacred waters of the mikvah is a powerful and beautiful symbol of new beginnings. But it's not only brides who can go to the mikvah. Partners of all genders can receive the blessing of sacred new beginnings. Significant birthdays can be celebrated in the mikvah. Any major milestone, from a new job to a new grandchild, from being ordained as a cantor or a rabbi, from coming out as LGBTQ to coming to grips with retirement, and so many more, we have opportunities to explore and celebrate the spiritual aspects of our lives with this incredibly powerful and meaningful ritual. You know, it's no accident that the ancient Israelites passed through the Sea of Reeds on their way to freedom in the Promised Land. On Passover, we reenact our liberation. The waters parted and we transitioned from slaves to a free people. As liberal Jews, we can reclaim mikvah as we acknowledge change, seek healing, and celebrate life's important milestones and miracles. We may not think of the world in terms of purity and impurity anymore, but we do understand that we are spiritual beings who can grow, who can heal, who can be wounded, and who can seek to recover from those wounds, be they physical or emotional or spiritual. And I am looking forward to being able to participate with anyone who wishes as we anticipate the opening of the Mikvah Association of East Denver, Moed, in exploring new ways and new paradigms of immersion in our faith and our tradition. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Black, for those words and for the emphasis and the importance that you have given this conversation in this space. It really is a powerful statement, and I'm grateful to you for speaking about it. Mikveh Shabbat continues tomorrow during Torah study. We're going to talk more about this topic and about the idea of Tahor and Tameh. I have a take on it that I'd love to share with many of you. So if you haven't yet registered for Torah study, and this feels like the time for you to dig into that, you can still do it on the WUFU through your eNotes. And with that, we move into our Torah reading. And I have many people to welcome to the screen today for just this purpose, for our Torah blessings. The Schwartzreg family, as Rabbi Black mentioned, Justin is becoming a bar mitzvah tomorrow on this parsha of deep grossness, and but he is awesome, and we're so proud of you, Justin, and all the hard work that you have put into this. We don't pick our Torah portions, we pick dates. So with that, we wish you a giant mazel tov. We're so excited that you are celebrating tomorrow. For our Torah chanting tonight, I am excited to have Howard Boykin. I love when Howard reads Torah. So thanks, Howard, for all of your work learning and chanting this Torah portion. And for our translation, the one and only Steve Brodsky. And then, of course, the Schwartzreich family will bless us out of the Torah reading. So with that, I turn it over to them for the blessing before the Torah reading.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hagara, Baruch Adonai Hagara Elam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim, V'natan Lanu et Torato, Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe ve'el Aharon lemor. Ki tavo'u el eretz Canaan asher ani noten lachem lachuzah v'natati negat zarat b'veit eretz achuzatchem uva asher lo habayit v'higid lakohen lemor kenega nira li babayit v'tziva hakohen ufinu et habayit b'terem yavo hakohen lirod et hanega v'lo yitma kol asher babayit v'achar kein Yavo hakohen lirot et habayit v'ra'a et hanega v'hine hanega v'kirot habayit sheka'arurot yirak rakot o adam damot umarehen shafal min hakir. V'yatsa hakohen min habayit el petach habayit v'hizgir et habayit shivat yamim v'shava kohen bayom hashvi'i v'ra v'hine pasa hanega b'kirot habayit v'tziva hakohen v'chiltu et ha'avanim asher bahen hanaga v'hishlichu et hen el michutz la'ir el makom tameh ve'et habayit yaktzia mi bayit saviv v'shavchu et ha'afar asher hiktuhu el michutz la'ir el makom tameh v'lachu avanim acherot v'heviu el tachat ha'avanim v'afar acher yikach v'tach et habayit.
The Eternal One spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, "When you enter the land of Canaan that I give you as a possession, and I inflict an eruptive plague upon a house in the land you possess, the owner of the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, 'Something like a plague has appeared on my house.' The priest shall order the house cleared before the priest enters to examine the plague, so that nothing in the house may become impure. After that, the priest shall enter to examine the house. If, when he examines the plague in the walls of the house is found to consist of greenish or reddish streaks that appear to go deep into the wall, the priest shall come out of the house to the entrance of the house, close up the house for 7 days. On the 7th day, the priest shall return. If he sees that the plague has spread on the walls of the house, the priest shall order the stones with the plague in them to be pulled out and cast outside the city into an impure place. The house shall be scraped inside all around, and the coating that is scraped off shall be dumped outside the city in an impure place. They shall take other stones and replace those stones with them, and take other coating and plaster the house."
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'torheinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. And we come now to our Misha Berach, our prayer for healing, where we spend a moment sending all this positive power of healing, which that's really what Tazria-M'tzora is about. It's about healing. It's about whatever plagues you, whatever isolates you, coming back from it. We're going to talk about that tomorrow too. And so we say this prayer for healing. And of course, in between our verses, I'll ask you to add in any names of those that you are praying for this evening. And we will read our list of names of those that we know. And so with that, we begin our prayer of Misha Berach.
Source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
Today, we are praying for Zachary Hoffman, David Karner, David Lustig, Jeff Cohn, David Goldenberg, Stuart Myers, Catherine Plus, Jean Silver, Scott Englander, Stacy Hoffman, Kristen Myers, Corey Franklin, Brian John Miller, Phyllis Schulman, Michael Roger Janae, Shirley Glass, Eric Dellenbach, Becky Mitchell, Shanti Hazan, Jennifer Brynan, Lynn Pollitt, Howard Rosenberg, Deborah Alenikoff, Alex Busnovetsky, Michael Altenberg, Charles Zandel, Ellie Greenberg, Lori Goldman, Randy Velick, Helena Stryker, Cyril Beinhorn, Jamie Eidelberg, Larry Ambrose, Gary Mobel, and Sharon Westerman. And with that, I ask you, who else are you thinking of? Who else are you praying for? Type those names in on Facebook, say them out loud, hold them in your heart as we hold them with you. And of course, as always, we pray for all of those in our country, in our world, who have suffered during this pandemic. We send them all blessings of healing. Baruch atah Adonai, makor harefuah. Blessed are you, Adonai, the source of all healing.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And with that, we close out our Torah service. Thank you so much to the Schwartzreich family for your beautiful blessings. Thank you, Howard, for your incredible chanting. As always, thank you, Steve, for your lovely translation. You read English so well. And we pause now in between the Torah service and our conclusion of the service to count the Omer, as we do in between Passover and Shavuot. And so this week, as we talked about before, is the week of Tiferet, or it says radiance, balance, harmony, and truth. So we're going to read some of the text about this week, and then we'll reflect a little bit. The light of Tiferet is strong, demanding, radiant. Notice colors this week, the subtle and vibrant palettes in nature. Notice your own being and the waves of emotion that move through you. Tiferet shows us the beauty and brokenness of the world and says, open to all of it. This is where you live. Adonai Hoshia Hamelech Yanenu B'Yom Korenu. The mystery brings transformation. The one answers us in the moment we call. The wellspring rises from the deep within the mystery, filling the heart with truths. Sometimes these truths are welcome and easy to contain. Sometimes they are painful and cause a shattering. There is great strength to be found in opening to whatever is coming forth. Our practice for today, we ask ourselves, what am I meant to learn, to discover? What truths do I need to integrate? We pray for ourselves and 9 others. May our gifts be remembered. May our offerings be received. May our hearts' yearning be granted. May our clearest intentions be fulfilled. And, you know, I can't help, I know I talked about this a little bit, but I can't help as I was reading this text that we were supposed to reflect on. And it talked about the colors in nature and the wellspring of the, some of this is a little bit hard to wrap my head around, but then it said that this is about a shattering and a great strength. And all I can think about is the branches that have broken this week, right? And as I drove Neil to school this morning through Lowry and Crestmore and Hilltop, what I saw was this beautiful landscape of white, everything covered in that thick, wet spring snow, and so many branches that had fallen because they couldn't handle the weight. And I'm not sure if that is what this is talking about, but it's what is coming to my mind, right? That we notice the balance, that what is beauty is also heavy, that what is strong is only so strong, right? Those trees, those branches feel infinitely strong until the weight of the snow is too much. And so what is a gift, which is snow and water and moisture in our world, is also sometimes a thing that causes breakage. And what is an offering is also something that sometimes, right? Everything is a balance. And so we wish that our gifts and our offerings and our yearnings and our intentions be true to what we intend them to be, but we know that the world sometimes takes them in different ways. And so we this week deal with the balance of what is beautiful in our world, the harmony between what builds and what tears down sometimes. So let's go to our to our blessing over the counting. In a minute, we're going to count the day of the Omer that it is, but first we bless. So let's say together, Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has sanctified us with your commandments and commanded us to count the Omer. Hayom esrim yom shehem shnei shavuot v'shisha yamim la'omer. Today is 20 days, which is 2 weeks and 6 days of the Omer.
20 days. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? We're almost halfway through. Amazing. We begin to move toward the conclusion of our service. I invite you to rise as you are able, either physically or spiritually, and we join together for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, v'atet gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, velo samanu כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
יש כוכבים שאורם מגיע ארצה רק כאשר הם עצמם עבדו ואינם. There are stars up above so far away that we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us as we live our days. These are the way we remember. As we talk about that balance between what is beautiful and what is hard, certainly the loss of someone we loved and the sweetness of their memory is a balance. And so today we are thinking of those that we have lost this week, Faye Greenspan and Henry Strauss. We are thinking of those that we have lost in the last month, Richard Dick Cook, Isabel Make, Marvin B. Solomon, Daniel Spira, Leonard Streer, and Betty Tremblay. And we add those to the list of those for whom this Shabbat marks the Yortzeit, or the anniversary of their passing. In years that have gone by, Norman Americus, Pauline Schlesinger Americus, Robert Paul Berenbaum, Hattie Bram, Donald Bragg, William G. Cohn, Irene G. Trudy Porsky, Stephen H. Diamond, Henry Frankel, Alfred A. Friedheim, Irving I. Friedman, Lena Friedman, Jules T. Fink, Zelda H. Fink, Perry Friedman, Derek Egan Fuhrer, Ronald Mark Goldstein, Harriet Goodman, Francis Halperin, Louis I. Isaacs, Faina Izbanova, Sydney S. Jacobs, Elaine Kaufman, George Kaufman, Martin Kaufman, Paula Kaufman, Thelma Kaufman, Richard Kaufman, James Kessler, Abraham S. Levy, Morton J. Lewin, Moritz Lowenstein, Donald Lozo, Adrian Marks, Dr. Edward Mason, Stella A. Michael, Morris Nierenberg, Leatrice K. Peck, Maurice Ruler, Babette Mincer Robinson, Alex Rittenbaum, Hilda Ross, S. Matilda Solomon, Harry Sandler, Harry A. Sandman, Francis Alexander Shapiro, Minnie Shefflin, George D. Scheidler, Elizabeth Schwader Kelly, Harold J. Siegel, Harry G. Silverberg, Sarah Lowenstein Simon, Alfred Simons, Gordon C. Singles, Roanne Bernstein Spector, Donald E. Spiegelman, Annalise Spitz, Laura Stein Levitt, Leo Stillman, Paula Gladys Stryker, Jean J. Sussman, Samuel J. Talpers, Nathan Tobias, Gertrude Friedman Waldman, L. Lester Weatherhorn, Benjamin Zeidman, and Morris Zeppelin. And we add 10 more names to our list of those who we are remembering this Shabbat, 10 of those who perished in the Holocaust from the city of Kolin: Pavel Pick, Berta Pikova, Emily Pikova, Giza Pikova, Gina Pikova, Pavla Pikova, Ivan Pollock, Mirko Pollock, Irina Polakova, and Josefa Poprova. And with all of those names in our minds and in our hearts, I invite you to add anyone else that is not on this list that you are remembering this Shabbat. Type them in on Facebook, say them out loud, hold them in your hearts as we hold them with you. As we join together in the words of the mourners Kaddish, I invite you to rise physically or spiritually and join with me. Yitgadal v'yitkarash shemei Rabbah ve'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael va'agala u'vizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'le'olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei kudesha brichu le'elam min kol v'yarchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Okay, a couple of announcements as we wrap up our service this evening. Shabbat tomorrow, 9:00 a.m. Young Family Shabbat with Cantor Sax on exactly where you are right now, either on the main page of Facebook or on channel 1 of our website. 10 o'clock, Torah study with me. We're going to continue the conversation about the mikvah. If anybody wants to join still, you are welcome to either join us on Facebook or the website, or you can still register on the WUFU in the e-notes. If you're not sure how to do that, you can shoot me an email so we can get you a Zoom link. At 11 o'clock, Cantor Sax and I will be here with the community service at the same place. Also tomorrow on channel 2 and on our B'nai Mitzvah page is the bar mitzvah of Justin Schwartzreich. We are very excited to celebrate with him. That will be with Rabbi Black and Steve Brodsky. There's a lot of things that are happening in the world that we could talk about. We are going to not talk about all of them because we will be here until we start Shabbat again tomorrow. However, just a very quick reminder of a couple of things. The Women's Empowerment Series with Ariel Halevi is starting on the 20th of April at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays. The Board of Trustees is hosting a sports night on Thursday, April 22nd at 7. Make sure you register for that. It is going to be, I understand, with two great sports commentators and quite honestly, scholars of sports, Rex Foster and Dan Fellman, who actually do things in sports. I think Dan works for Altitude and Rex writes for a media company. And they also happen to be children of our Board of Trustees, which is why the Board of Trustees is hosting Sports Night with Dan and Rex. So don't miss that. I have a feeling it's going to be very funny and also very informative. Mitzvah Day is Sunday, April 25th. It will be just like last year. Lots of things that you can do without being near everyone. There's lots of things to do at home, lots of places to donate, lots of kits, things like that. So check that out on the website. Clergy Learning with Cantor Hyatt begins on April 28th. She is teaching the music and theology of a liberating God, counting up to freedom, which is very exciting. And you all should have gotten an email in your inboxes about reopening. Read it carefully. If you have questions, please reach out. We're here. We know it's a lot of information. We're so excited to be with you. And we know that this is going to be a little bit of an adjustment. If by a little bit, I mean an enormous one. So as we get there, please have grace and patience for us as we figure it out. We promise to have grace and patience with you as you figure it out. Let's talk, let's ask questions, let's figure it out together. We can't wait to see you. And please reach out if there's information that you feel like isn't clear to you. I think that feels like a lot of things, and we could pause right there. And instead of continuing to announce things, let's drink.
That is a lot of things. Check your e-notes. It's all there. Check the temple website. There's a lot of places to get the information. And if you're not sure, reach out to one of us. Temple, the building is closed, but the temple is open, as we are fond of saying. So let's join together in Kiddush as we sanctify Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodesho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. Oh, what a beautiful challah. We haven't said that in so long. What beautiful chalot, both of them. And my wife happened to make them, but this week she didn't make any challah, I'm sad to say. Anyway, let's join together in Hamotzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. As we close tonight, you know, over the last couple of weeks, we have celebrated all the yoms that come in our Jewish calendar. We had Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day. We had Yom HaZikaron, Israeli Memorial Day. And then just Thursday, I believe, was Yom HaAtzmaut, Israeli Independence Day. And so we will celebrate Israeli independence by singing Am Yisrael Chai, Od Avinu Chai, the people of Israel, the land of Israel still live. Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai, Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai, Amen,
Yehi ratzon milfanecha, may it be your will, God, that this week, this upcoming week, this past week be a week of balance, of seeing the good and the bad, the beauty in the snow and the weight of it, the cold and the warm, all of these things that we are talking about, the beauty and the difficulty of our reopening. There's so much balance to be held in the world right now. And so we ask your blessing, God, Tatzidenu l'shalom, help our steps as we navigate that balance to be steps of peace. Tadrichenu l'shalom, help our paths be paths of peace. Amen. Shabbat shalom. We'll see you in the morning.
Shabbat shalom.